I've got to train, whether I stick to the plan or just come in and lift, just to get that frustration out of not lifting that week. Could be seen as selfish, in a way, if people look in.
You are peaking your body at 42. All the people that you hear say they're too old and they can't train and they're unable to and everything, like, what do you say to them?
Bullshit. Pretty much. You know, yes, I'm 42. Should I have done it earlier? Yeah. Did I enjoy my PlayStation too much when I was younger? Yeah. We've now changed the obsession of wanting to game to now it's wanting to train. Go on. Yeah. We get a phone call from the school saying you need to come and pick Abby up. I'm like, why? She said she wants to kill herself. I'm like, are you sure? Because I know where she is now, and that's not that place. So me and Annie go and get her. Annie reads it, and she goes, you're having a laugh. Annie hands me the letter that she wrote. I used to have suicidal thoughts. Not at any point does that go, I want to kill myself.
Wow.
The way that she's been taught to cope with these things is write it down. And the school like, shit, I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Come and get your child, we don't want her. Alright, so let's say she is having them thoughts, and you lot go, go away.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that, and I've seen what that happens, because that's how I reacted. I got angry, and it was like, you will need to go away for help, and it's not the way.
So, Rich, you are a strong dad, strong man, strong dad, and a busy dad.
Yeah.
What I want to know and delve into is, how do you manage your life? You know, and just to put a bit of perspective on this, you're a husband, you're a dad,
Yeah.
you're everything a man could be in a busy aspect. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You've got everything in place. Like, how do you all of a sudden at the age of 42 decide I'm going to, put everything into strongman?
It started with, I needed to lose weight. So, youngest daughter was doing gymnastics. Where her gymnastic was, there was a gym.
Got you.
So it was easy to go in there instead of going all the way home back through traffic. And then always liked strongman. And I was like, you know what, maybe I might be able to do some bits. And then it got to a point where, you know what, I think I can actually do enough to do a competition.
Yeah.
So then it's like, obviously I work 12-hour shifts, rotating every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and surely the kids have things, night times and stuff.
The kids are currently at an age where they do things where they don't want dad.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, oldest daughter's got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Youngest daughter, she'll game.
Yeah.
See her mates.
Yeah.
So that bit there is kind of taking care of itself. I'm just there when they want lifts and stuff.
Or money.
Yeah. So that bit was quite easy. Then it's like telling the wife that, on your day off, when it's my day off as well, I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where, obviously, she always said, oh, you needed to lose weight anyway. So I got from 31 stone down to 24 stone 10.
Yeah. What's that in kg? Because still rubbish with stone.
You're probably looking 200 kg body weight.
Wow.
So they're like the real strong men.
Yeah, well, it is the biggest strong.
Yeah.
I mean, Gav Bilton's up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's like one of the biggest.
So then drop down to 24 stone, which is roughly about 150, 60-ish. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But didn't feel right. Felt weak, hungry all the time. So it was like, you know what? If we do strongman, let the body sit where it wants to sit.
Yeah.
Currently sits at around 180.
Yeah.
So it's comfortable. Annie's really good with, she doesn't put the pressure on that I need to be here.
Yeah.
I'm free to train pretty much when I want.
Yeah.
We'll do it during the day if the kids are at school. We'll do it at night if they want to come and watch. or, as Abby's doing now, taking part.
Yeah.
So that then makes it a bit easier. Oh, we want to see what Dad does. Come on, let's go. And we'll do that. So it's not really been that difficult to try and balance it. The difficult thing is that I'm 42 and doing it, and not the other way around.
Yeah. So what, like, so many people make excuses why they don't do that in your position.
Yeah.
So what's different from you to them?
If I don't come to the gym, mentally I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
The gym keeps me where I need to be. But then the community that, especially here, is second to none. You know, even down to like the WhatsApp group. You know, everybody's just chipping in. And it just makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, to be a part of a community and...
Yeah, it's like... Probably sounds cliche, but it's like added family, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We all look after each other in here. We all talk outside of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to make this podcast about the gym or me.
Yeah, no.
However, that is my goal of what you just said, so that is really good to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? Because my goal was always to make it a family.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing that keeps you accountable, you know, friendly competition, all that sort of side of things. So yeah, it is a huge, powerful part, isn't it? But what keeps you coming here on those, you know, I'm trying to think of the excuses that people make, but what keeps you coming here on those cold nights, those, you know, how long does it take you to drive here? You're
25 minutes.
Right, okay, 25 minutes. So it's an hour round trip there or thereabouts, a bit less. But, you know, what keeps you doing it although you're that far away? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because what keeps you grinding regardless?
I want to do it, and I need to do it. I need to train. So if I have unscheduled issues that go on, I needed to train at some point that week, and it was getting to a point where I've got to train. You know, whether I stick to the plan or just come in and lift, and just to get that frustration out of not lifting that week. And it helps that, you know, Annie's support. You know, she doesn't. There's times where she'll come or she'll stay at home. Either way, she's happy to. I kind of could be seen as selfish, in a way, if people look in, because I get to do everything that I want to do. I train, do competitions. It kind of, very selfish in a way.
But at the same time, it's a supportive version, isn't it? Because she is very supportive in what you do.
Yeah.
And also, like you say, the kids now love the gym
that's
and have got that. I guess, for, you know, without putting words in your mouth though, but I guess for you, it's you want to be that role model as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that because you've said that to me before. But how does that help this situation?
So, for the likes of Abby, if she shut herself in a bedroom, I probably wouldn't see her.
Yeah.
But now, because she comes here as well, we've got that bond, and it's like, right, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Do you want to deadlift?
And just for people listening, Abby is
14.
14, yeah.
Yeah. Well, 15 in December.
Yeah. But that must be a great film. I mean, obviously you see my kids come here, but Nelly sort of likes it, sort of doesn't. Leo loves it, but that's just because he touches everything.
You get so much pride in seeing them achieve as well.
Yeah.
You know, I only ever thought she could lift bread because that's all she would ever carry when we did shopping. First session first session in here, deadlift 50 kg.
So what do you give her now when you go shopping? The
potatoes. It's now we open the boot and it's like farmer's walk back to the house. She'll see how much she can carry.
I bet for Christmas you even bought her some bags for life, didn't you? These are yours. You use them every time you go shopping. No, that's good. Yeah, and obviously you know, being that role model for them, does that keep you fired up to continue as well? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously that must play a part for you.
Yeah, because I want, now that we're doing this together, you know, there's times where all four of us are here.
Yeah.
And it's them times that you can't, and I wouldn't exchange for anything. Because they're better than sitting around watching a film. We can do that. Yeah. I don't mind doing that. You know, that's
There's
good.
There's a time and place for each of them, isn't there?
Yeah. But when we're all here, and you just, especially now their confidence is built in it, well, that's all three of them. They just potter around, go and do their own bit. And if they need me, they come and grab me, or yourself, or whoever. It's just seeing that, and then the confidence change in the two girls is massive.
Yeah, it's something I literally try and talk about and push all the time, because obviously, you know, at school, children, in my opinion, aren't tested enough in sport to actually get to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? They're forced to do certain bits, but that doesn't mean they're going to enjoy it.
No, I think because they're just given the sport that everybody sees popular.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do football, we'll do netball, we'll do basketball. That's brilliant. But not every kid wants to go and do football, netball, basketball and such. You know, why don't they include some
functional training?
Yeah.
You
know, it does so much for your mind as well.
Yeah.
As well as just, you know, you building yourself and getting stronger. You get mentally stronger at the same time.
You are peaking your body at 42.
Yeah.
Let's just dig straight into it. Like, all the people that you hear say they're too old and they can't train, you know, and they're unable to and everything. Like, what do you say to them?
Right. Bullshit. Pretty much. You know, yes, I'm 42. My body does feel older sometimes. Yeah. After the silly over-the-knee lunges.
Yeah.
But I know why we do that. Should I have done it earlier? Yeah. Did I enjoy my PlayStation too much when I was younger? Yeah.
Interesting.
So we've now changed the obsession of wanting to game to now it's wanting to train.
Yeah. So were you massive into gaming then?
I was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, massive. Like
obsessive, yeah.
Yeah. To the point it would be the first thing I did when I got up.
Really?
And I wouldn't move all day.
I've learnt something new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so...
But what do you think to whole, obviously, you know, and we can't deny it, because I start to feel it now, you know, I've been training nearly 20 years now, like, the body hurts, you're not as strong some days, and, you know, you have to adapt your training.
Yeah. If the body doesn't hurt after you've trained, I see it as I've not trained hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to push your body, and to push your body, you've got to hurt it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the only way you're going to get stronger. You know, you've got to keep pushing it and keep pushing it. There is days where I come in and feel about 50, and everything's hard. But then you've got to accept that I can't push my body to do 4 heavy sessions a week. You know, there have to be strategically planned that, you know, that I can do heavy at some point throughout each session maybe, but I can't do the whole session like full bore.
And which I know you wasn't necessarily training years ago, but that's what you would have been able to do years ago.
Yeah. Do I regret training later? Yes and no. Because I wouldn't have changed anything that I've done, because I wouldn't be at this point now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you wouldn't have found your path. Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, you know, strongman. I've always liked strongman. Everybody knows it. Everybody watches it at Christmas. That's what everybody used to think it just was.
Yeah.
But to then actually doing it, and then to call yourself a strongman, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are, because you've got the Masters 40 plus, you've got the Masters 50 plus.
Yeah.
You know, Can I see myself doing it at 50, competing? I don't know. Will I still train? Yes. Because I need to train.
Yeah. It's funny as well, because I see you as you're having newbie gains now, because technically you're a new, not completely new to training. I know you've never done, I know you've not ever done nothing, but it's like with your training now, you're still going through that like progressional phase.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not to ignore, and I'm sure you'll put the video on for us, the 130 press the other day was fucking insane.
Yeah. 130 is a nice big number to go, I put that above my head.
Yeah.
But then to
There's
actually
a log as
do
well,
it,
just for anyone listening.
To do it, I'd done it with an axle, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
To then do it with the log and go, that fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm proud. And as well, like you struggle with log more than you do an axle, don't you?
Yeah.
So actually, that's progression for you.
And then, like we spoke in the gym before, about how we've changed how I press.
Yeah.
And my back now is solid.
Yeah.
If it's on the chest, 9 times out of 10 it's getting pressed.
Yeah.
So to do that at 42, to go, you know what, I've just done that. It's a massive number. And I'm still
just reflecting back, and again, it's not about what we've done together specifically, but when you first started strongman and when you first started lifting, you're a big guy. You're 180 kg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were 200. Then you went to you've now lost weight. Well, you lost weight a lot less, didn't you? Down below that, but then you've come back to 180, but now solid and fast and fit.
Yeah, you put 180 kg and say I'm the fittest I've ever been. I'm the strongest I've ever been.
Does it?
Shouldn't go in the same sentence, but it does.
Yeah,
But
you being 180 means you should be pressing a lot.
Yeah,
right. So. But however, you wasn't pressing a lot before. I mean, but what were your numbers roughly? Just
so before I started, it was relatively light. I didn't really do overhead until I decided I was going to enter a competition.
Yeah,
and then it was like, okay, they're the numbers that we've got to hit. So the log was in my first comp was 70 kg for reps.
Yeah,
and I won that.
Yeah.
With only training log 4 times before the comp.
Yeah.
So the natural ability to be able to press things is always going to be there. Like you say, I'm 180 kg, I'm 6'7". I should be able to press stuff.
Yeah.
And lift stuff.
Yeah.
So just go from like 2 years ago when I did my first comp, not even 2 years ago, a year ago, to do from 70 for reps in a competition to now hitting 130 as a speed rep.
I'm trying to think.
Like, it's crazy. When I first come here, it was 100 kg was my log.
Well, that might be what I'm thinking about. I'm struggling to. I can remember you pressing kg, it. Was it 100?
Scruffy as hell.
Yeah.
If you'd have looked, and Tom put it in the chat, didn't he? He goes, going from
that
zero technique to that.
Yeah, I can remember that. I can remember you pressing it, and it was such a struggle.
Yeah,
but it was a good, decent weight because 100 is.
Yeah,
but then now to look at that, the 130's just moved.
Yeah,
better than that ever did. But again, like on the whole, like fact of you being older and stuff. What's your tips for people? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you think people can help themselves from saying, I'm too old, my knees hurt, I'm in pain?
My knees have hurt since I was 12. My knees have always hurt. And you've just got to deal with it. Just do it. Don't stop saying, I can't do it. Go and try it. Because the minute you go and try it is the minute you enjoy it, and that moment is when you're hooked, and then you cannot not do it.
Yeah.
Which, if I don't come here, it drives me crazy.
But as well, just to throw in there for people listening, like bad knees, bad joints are down to weak muscle groups, weak tendons, ligaments, and things like that. So we have to think of building all of them, which is obviously what we did with you.
Yeah.
It was,
My knees were...
Your knees were a big thing, weren't they?
Were awful. Squats weren't... Were they squats?
Yeah. Well, they were partial squats, weren't they? And you was in pain.
Yeah.
And that's
it was
why
horrid.
it was... Yeah.
And it's now...
Full squats.
Ass to grass.
Yeah. Yeah, and...
Do the knees still hurt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they hurt as much as they did before? No. There is days where they are unbearable. But I know why. Because I've punished them to do what I want to do to make me happy.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as well, I want people to know and remember for yourselves that the stronger you are, the harder you are to kill. It's as simple as that. You know, so, you know, when people, you know, when I watch my granddad, bless him, you know, he was, oh, I don't want to get this wrong, I think he was 96, 97, very old, you know, nearly touching 100, and he just, I watched him slow down until he just didn't move, and then obviously, you know, that was the end of his life sort of thing. When you think of that process, we go from a baby on our knees, or not even on our knees, can't even walk or crawl or anything, you know, we then start to walk and form and this, that and the other, then we go back down again, don't we? And for me, I always think about, like, you know, when you become sort of like, you know, into your, let's call it mid-age, if we're talking 100, you know, 50 area, you know, yes, you might have to slow down your training, yes, you might have to change things or change direction slightly, but fucking keep moving.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get weaker and have muscle atrophy and also mental atrophy of feeling weaker and like you can't do more.
I'm going to touch on that a little bit, because if I walk anywhere, if I walk slow, I hurt.
Yeah.
Bottom of my back, knees.
Yeah.
They start to hurt. If I walk at a reasonable pace and don't slob around in the walk, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it just shows that my body there is telling me that you've got to keep moving or I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I keep moving and hurt it back.
Yeah. Do you understand why that actually happens as well?
No, not really, because I've always put it down to, because of how big I am.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
You know, I need to move it quick for it to have less effect on joints.
Yeah.
If I'm slow, stationary, that's where the weight then just sits on the joints.
Sloppy, No, that's exactly it. And that's what I was going to say. That will simply be because when you're working harder, your body is more contracted, if you want to put it like that, and actually you're using the muscles the way you should, as opposed to being more relaxed.
Yeah.
And, you know, joints start to hurt, and like you say, you're moving sloppy. But yeah, it's a great way of, you know, looking at it. And, you know, again, it's not about doing it to the extreme, but it's about continuing to do it and, you know, making sure that you're pushing forward regardless.
That's it. Whether I compete in strongman when I get to 50, but I still want to train strongman because that's what I enjoy. I don't want to do the fluffy muscles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We've all got the fluffy muscles.
Yeah.
It's just that mine don't show like everybody else's until I need them to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't do it for show, you know.
Yeah.
I've got a power belly.
Yeah.
And I like my power belly.
Just until one of the boyfriends of the kids does something wrong, then they'll see where the muscles are.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm comfortable in how I look with carrying 180 kg. Would people say I'm fat? Can we use that? You're fat?
Yeah.
You know? I might look fat, but by Christ, can you carry a 300 kg yoke? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I fucking can, and I can move it quick. So
but there's also quite a difference between somebody carrying body fat and somebody that's fat.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are carrying excess body fat from a very fucking big muscular frame.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Is it within your reason and desire to get shredded?
No.
You know what I mean? That's a personal thing. Like,
Yeah.
But if you literally didn't train and you were your size, then it would be a completely different body
But
composition.
I get why people want to do that.
Yeah.
As well. You know.
Yeah.
Do they want to do it so people go, okay, no, you look really good. You know? Or is it because that's how they want to train?
Yeah, of course.
Now, everybody trains for their own reason. I train because I want to get strong, and I love doing strongman. And I love doing the strongman events. I don't want to just sit here and just.
But you've also lost a lot of weight. Like,
yeah,
you know, physique wise, you've changed shape massively, and your fitness outweighs an unfit. Do you know what I mean? An unfit, fatter person.
I don't know if you'd be able to do it, Zach, but the picture you posted the other day, yesterday, of us all stood in the line.
Yes.
The difference, that was what, March time?
Yeah.
The difference to what I look like in that picture, and I'm heavier than I was in that picture, is crazy.
Yeah. So what would you have, how heavy would you be in that picture?
That'd have been about 170 to 175. I know it's 10 kg possibly at the most.
Yeah.
But the
shape difference.
Yeah, the face difference. I don't know. You know, it's
we'll stick it on.
That,
yeah.
I looked at that and went, did I really look like that? And even Annie's like, what the hell? You know, have you seen what you look like?
Yeah.
It's like, oh. But I was comfortable then.
Yeah, of course. And it was all part of the stepping stones, wasn't it?
All part of the process.
One of the subjects that I find very touching, very inspiring, like massively inspiring, that obviously, you know, we've spoke about in depth a lot, that I would love to share with people, is obviously your daughter Abby.
Yep.
Self-harming. And I'm trying not like brush through it too fast, but just to give the over story of it, and then we can dig into it. Like, so she self-harmed. I remember when you first told me, and then obviously we made it a journey to get her into the gym, and like to see where she is now, like literally makes me feel like hairs.
Just
back,
talking about it. Yeah,
like I've not got much hair, but but it's that feeling, isn't it, of knowing, fuck, that is powerful. But just tell me, or the listeners, like, what was it like when did you first find out that she self-harmed?
So the background to it was 3 years ago we lost my dad due to his 8-year battle with cancer. And then 20 weeks later we lost my mother-in-law. So she lost 2 grandparents that she was very close to both.
Yeah.
You know, there was only one person that could ever call her abs, and that was my dad.
Really?
Yeah. Not even, I'm still not allowed to call her it.
Shit, I actually call her that without realising.
And I spotted it the other day, and me and Annie said,
that's quite
that
weird.
was only Dad that ever called her that. But she would tell you if she wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
So she obviously is, you know. So
I literally just learnt that now because I know I say that to her. Yeah.
So she went from losing my dad, and she spoke at his funeral, to losing her nana, to Annie's mum, and she wrote a piece for her funeral. She couldn't speak, but she wrote the piece. So what was she? 13 when she loses them. But previous, she'd also lost a sister. So at 13...
Sorry, how old would Abby have been when she lost River?
So Abby will have been 4 to 5 ish. Yeah.
So we don't even know what that.
Yeah, no,
you can't even imagine, can you?
No, you don't know what that does to. It's hard enough as a grown adult to try and deal with that, let alone being a child. So all she'd known is death, you know, and having to deal with it. And we knew you can tell when they're not happy, you know, but you just think, oh, you know, it's how she's dealing with it, and she's a little bit grumpy here and there, and it got to the point where she was quite grumpy. And then one day I get the phone call from her school saying Abby's cut herself. You need to come and get her. And I don't know how to respond to that phone call. So then instincts then is, well, I'm somebody's child, so I'm going to ring my mum,
right,
and go, how do I respond to this? And nobody knew how to respond, So I go and pick her up. I let Annie know, Abby's cut herself. So she's cut herself on her left arm, and we ask her why. She says, I'm just feeling down. Okay, there is ways to do it. Don't cut yourself. We speak, let them feelings out. But then it gets to a point that that wasn't the first cut. That was the first cut I knew about.
Right.
Long sleeves. If your kid's walking around your house with a long sleeve top on, you don't think anything of it. Oh, she's wearing a long sleeve top. And
as well, at her age, you're not going to check. It's a funny one, isn't it? You're not going to check her because it's like, well, you wouldn't think to know to check.
No, and then she's done it several times now, to the point that you go, we need to get you some help. So we go to the A&E at Leicester. But it was at the time where only one parent can be in because of COVID.
Oh, right.
And I got damn right pissed off.
Yeah.
Because, it goes to the point where she's cutting herself and she's writing that she's having these thoughts that it might need to go further. And she's wrote it all down. And the school have gone, you need to read this.
And where was that? Where was that put or posted or?
No, she wrote it. She wrote it down and showed it to somebody at the school.
But that's what I'm saying. So it got given to somebody at school, right?
And then they gave us a copy of it. And so it's like the only place that we can take you is the A&E. I'd rang the doctors and they said you need to take them there, and then they.
Because it's instant, I guess. Yeah.
To them being told by a receptionist, I know she was only doing a job, but it still pissed me off. You can't be here. Only one of you. I'm like, don't think you really understand this. My daughter has said that if she wants to do this, I need to fucking be here. And it got to the point where it was either I go on my own out or I'm removed. And then I've got to drive back home, and then I'm on my own. And then everything is, how can this happen, and how have I not seen it? Yes, she'd cut herself before that, but it was like, shit, now it could be the next level.
Yeah.
So then she got some help, and we went to a therapist, and she wasn't cutting herself to harm herself. I know it sounds strange. It was her way of saying, I need help because I can't deal with losing two of the most influential people in my life at such a young age. So...
And did that come from her, the therapist? Did that come from that work?
They spotted it straight away.
And is that something she admitted? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so she had to be in a room with this therapist, and we weren't allowed in the room. Yeah. So me and Annie had to come away, and we were out 20 minutes. And this guy is then sitting there to say yes or no, she wants to do this. And he went, not 1 minute have I, from sitting here talking to her, thought that she's going to do that. And he goes, and she won't do it. This is her way of asking for help. But she couldn't ask her dad. She couldn't ask her mum. She couldn't ask her gran. It's literally, I can't tell these people because they're going through the same, and I don't want to add to it. So then,
which breaks your heart to think, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you want your kids to be able to tell you anything, don't you? And you want them to feel comfortable in telling you anything. But it kind of made you feel less of a parent because I can't take that away.
No, yeah, I can imagine.
So, mine and Abby's relationship, because I couldn't understand it properly, I got angry with it. And it's like, why the fuck are you doing it? You know, literally, there's ways, don't do that. To the point that it was like, literally, if you keep doing this, I'm going to have to take you somewhere and you're going to have to sit there and we don't have this family anymore because they will need you there because they're going to need to keep an eye on you. And it was the only way that I could deal with it was to get angry with it.
Yeah.
Which is not the best way because she wants to be close. I want her to be close, but me getting angry over it is pushing her away.
But as well, you don't know how to handle that because we've not been taught this. No, there's no book that goes, when your child does this, you need to do A, B, C, and D. Yeah. It's tough because you're just literally working on your emotions, aren't you? You're
and my instant emotion is because I can't deal with it and I don't know how to. I'm going to get angry with it, which is completely the wrong thing to do. You know. But then, so she still has therapy now, and she speaks to a woman through Zoom, and she tells her stuff, and she tells the school things, you know, and the therapist gives her tricks to do. Write stuff down. If you're feeling like it, write it down. And prime example was a few weeks ago. We got a phone call from the school saying you need to come and pick Abby up. I'm like, why? Well, she said she wants to kill herself.
This was literally the other week?
About a month, maybe, if not a bit longer.
Okay.
I'm like, are you sure? Because I know where she is now.
Yeah.
And that's not that place. Yeah, you need to come. We've got this wrote down. So me and Andy go and get her. Andy reads it. And she goes, you're having a laugh. Abby sits in the car. I don't want to kill myself. Why do I want to kill myself? Annie hands me the letter that she wrote. I used to have suicidal thoughts. Not at any point does that go, I want to kill myself.
Wow.
It's the way that she's been taught to cope with these things is write it down. So she's doing what the therapist
so that's the
said.
mechanism that she's...
Yeah. And the school like, shit, I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Come and get your child, we don't want her. All right. So let's say she is having them thoughts and you lot go, go away.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that and I've seen what that happened because that's how I reacted. I've got angry and it was like, you will need to go away for help.
Yeah.
And it's not the way. And that to me was crazy. And so it happened to be that night, she actually had a conversation with a therapist. It was a scheduled date. And Annie says, look, this is what's happened at the school today. And she was like, Abby, brilliant, you're doing what we've discussed.
Yeah, very good.
Perhaps don't write that word, suicide, at school. Because they don't know how to deal with it.
It's a trigger word for them, isn't it? And they're not, unfortunately, they're not skilled.
They don't know how to deal with it, so you go. And they chuck you out. You know, she went back the next day. You know, she's like, don't want to kill myself. And then she used possibly one of the greatest things she's ever said. Can we go to the gym? Because that's my therapy as well. And that night, we'd planned not to train. It was after my comp, so not that long ago.
I do remember the night now because you were in here. Yeah, you wasn't training.
I wasn't training, but she was. Yeah, which is the reason why we came over.
Yeah, I do remember now.
And I said, even before she said it, I said to Annie, she needs to go and lift. And Annie was like, yes, she does. She needs to get that frustration out of the school going, we don't want you because you said a word that we can't deal with.
Isn't that amazing, right? Because obviously rewind, what would you say, 6 months ago? When did she first start? And it's probably longer.
June.
No, it would have been about then.
June.
Yeah. So let's just say, rewind back to then, when she was more timid and fragile in this environment.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have ever been an option.
No.
And obviously it wouldn't have been because she didn't do it. But now to know that that's an option for her to be like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
And you know she's doing well in the gym anyway, so it's great. You know how well she feels. You know, look at the fact that she talks to us all. Do you know what I mean? That is just insane.
I opened the door and she's gone.
Yeah.
She literally walks around, fist bumps, you know.
Yeah.
She always brings her sweets with her because she needs to get the sugar in while she's training.
Yeah.
So she's got her Haribos and she's literally handing them out to everybody, you know. And from the first day where she asked me to come, and I fully admit, I put her off for about a month because I'm like, well, I don't know if this is going to work for her. Yeah. And is it going to work for me? Which is very selfish.
No, I was about to say, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I remember you saying that to me because you was like, and rightly so, you're doing so well. You was like, oh, I need to stay on track.
Yeah. So the agreement was, you can come once, maybe twice a week when I train, because I'm in comp prep.
Yeah, I do remember
for the heaviest comp I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I need to make sure. Well, that didn't last. And it didn't happen from day one. You know, to seeing her when we were in the car on the way back after the first session was brilliant. To now, it's insane. It really is. And we had the conversation and got a bit emotional. You know, she doesn't know we had that conversation where I got emotional because she was too busy training. But it's to see where she was, to cutting herself, to having that possible suicidal thought, to then going, pretty much, fuck it. I'm turning this around, is now, me and Abby had never been the closest. Never. From the minute she was born to June. Now, it's fucking insane. You know, it's something that we do. To the point, it's like, she says, this is what we do. This is our thing. And she's kind of become a training partner now, without really trying to be. And her confidence has gone from 0 to sky high. Like you say, you know, she just waltzes in now. She knows everybody. From the first time she was in, it was even to talk to you, and she knew you were because she'd met you a few times. It was like you were a complete and utter stranger. So now it's...
Well, I remember, you know, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying it, but like, I remember she used to talk to people but not look at them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's just, you know, that is a normal thing people do when they're just not confident to make eye contact. You know, I used to remember, like, it's... you know, I put myself as quite a good judge with people, and I'm good at talking to people because I've spoke to so many different types of people that are in different positions. So I just kept, like, chatting to her, you know, every so often, and she slowly warmed up. But to see how confident she is now, when, like you say, you didn't know how to handle it, but you did everything you feel you could have done best, and you've proven the fact now.
Yeah.
That it's just that, having that persistence, isn't it, of not forcing things, but just dangling that carrot of, do you know what I mean, trying to walk her into something. And
with her being here, one of the best things is only you knew what she did before.
Yes.
Nobody else does.
Yeah.
They're going to know now. But she wears them scars like, you know what, yeah, so what, I did that.
Yeah, true.
But at that time of my life, I needed to do that.
Yeah.
And now it's
look where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody is just welcomed her in. You know, everybody, you see it all over the internet. Gyms are scary places. Nobody helps anybody.
Bullshit.
Just come to this fucking gym and tell me nobody fucking helps.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, just so good with her. And it's now, it's not, it's Richard's daughter training. It's Abby.
Yeah.
And they'll go and have a conversation with her. They'll talk with her. They'll fire her up for lifts. And
as well, I will add in, she's very good at listening.
She's like a sponge when she comes in here.
Yeah, but she literally, like, a cue that you give her, she'll then take it.
Yeah.
Which is I always see that as that whole, like, that proof that she's found her purpose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And actually, we could probably recap that as this whole situation, right? You know, she once felt like she didn't have a purpose, and she was confused, and she didn't know how to manage her emotions and all this. You know, now she's found that she's controlled it, and now I'm not saying the gym is her everything, but it's one of the factors of her life where she has a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, she feels important, and she feels loved, and do you know what I'm trying to say? All the support that actually, you know, it will never take away what you do as parents. It's a different type of love and support and everything, isn't it? But do you know what I'm trying to say? It's her little comfort zone, like she said.
Yeah, that's it. Because she's that comfortable in here now. She goes off and trains, and only shouts at me if she wants me or something. Or it's not me that she goes to. It'll be somebody else. You know. I can't.
If she had aspiration to do strongman, would you be in a corner full?
She wants to compete next year.
She wants to.
Yeah.
We spoke about it, haven't we, already? Like, it's something that, it would be amazing for her too if she competed, because she doesn't have to, obviously. But if she shows interest that she wants to, that is a whole new level of stepping up.
Yeah.
You know, she's going to learn so much more. And we just know, because you know as well as I do, after she's done the comp, she's going to feel fucking electric.
Yeah, just talking about her competing, literally, the hair's just stand.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's gone from, this is something that Dad does, and we go and watch him in a comp, to now, you know what, this isn't what Dad does, this is what I do, and I want to compete, and I want you all to come and watch me. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, mate, I really appreciate you sharing it. I mean it, because I know obviously we spoke about it before, and I'm very proud of her. And I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.